Gentlemen, how's it going?
Hey, fellas.
Goedenavond, heren.
All good. It's been a good week.
It has
I'm
been
sure-
a good one.
I'm sure it has been not just because of the football bit, but also because you're still on holiday, right?
Yeah, still on holiday. Still got, actually got 14 days left. I've got 2 or 4 weeks. School starts in 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, living the life.
And you've already been off for what, 2 weeks as well?
Yeah, but about 10 days. Listen, the private school life is, it's not too bad. I mean, I was in Cape Town for a week. Now I've been back home for about a week. And then I sneak back to Cape Town next week as well. So, tough life. Extremely tough.
You guys even teach at private schools?
We don't
You must let me know if you guys need a very bad and inexperienced hockey coach.
Yeah, just come and coach. All I'm saying is we got a rough term coming along now. Our next holiday is in August, but we got the whole of August off. So yeah, it's worth pushing through.
That's fine. I'll do that any day if I could.
You know what? If things don't work out this side of the world, I'm coming to fucking coach my kooks.
Yeah.
Goeienaand, bakkies, goeienaand.
Goedenavond, bakkies. Goedenavond.
Welcome by the show. So, yeah, interesting. Firstly, sorry everyone for we've been a bit AWOL for the last 2 weeks. As you heard, Cooks was on holiday, but I think it was mostly me being stuck in Sagefield with dodgy internet. Keegan knows what it's
Can't really say stuck in Sedgefield.
Yeah. I was going to say, no one gets stuck in
look,
but
I've been stuck in worse places, that's for sure.
That's a place you want to get stuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the bad internet if the views are that good.
Yeah. So what's been up?
So,
Going on,
yeah.
gentlemen, in sport?
Big, a lot of sort of sport that's gone under the water, under the bridge in the last 2 weeks. I don't think we've chatted about the previous F1 yet, have we?
No, we didn't. We did the
First
preview
race,
for
Yeah,
Those are-
so it's pretty crazy that it's been so long. It feels like this weekend's the first race of the season.
No, I think we did,
100%.
lads. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've lost the plot already. I've been
No, we
dealing
didn't.
yesterday.
I've still got a holiday brain, and I'm sure Cooks does as well. So
Yeah, no.
Oh.
My
I've
brain's
been
not
coaching
full.
I've been coaching under 7s, under 8s, under 9s, and under 10s. So don't ask me for anything yesterday.
and how's the language barrier working out with those kids?
Goed. Alles gaan goed. Niks slecht.
The man's
No, not
pretty
too
much-
bad. No, it's actually not too bad. I mean, you pick up a lot of like phrases, obviously, that aren't close to Afrikaans, and then you try and overcomplicate a few words, and then you realize, well, fuck, it's the exact same thing as Afrikaans. Why didn't I just use that in the first place? And then there's certain words that there's certain ways, like grammatically, that if we were in Afrikaans class and we did that, our teachers would have beaten us by saying it like, and it is just how it's said here, that it's like grammatically correct here. So all that times we were beaten in high school or in primary school for talking shitty Afrikaans, we were actually talking perfect Dutch.
If only you
So-
knew back then.
Yeah, they're preparing you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but other than that, it's good. Good to be back on the field. I know Cooks doesn't have those problems back at private school. They've been able to go balls to the walls and stuff, but it's nice to be back on the field. Nice to feel useful again. And hope next week, hopefully I'll do 3 days a week, but at the moment, twice a week. And yesterday I put in quite a shift, 15 Ks on the field, walking up and down for 6 hours. So not too bad.
Not bad. That's probably the most you've moved in months. Combined.
100%. Months, you talk about years.
So while we're on that topic, please, obviously you know, well, not obviously, but you you're working at Amsterdam Hockey Club now, and I've seen a couple of the photos. But I mean, fucking hell, that's a completely different setup than any hockey club we got here.
Yeah, when you walk in, you pinch yourself like, what the hell am I doing here? And first of all, like, how did I get here? I think that's any hockey player's dream back home to be part of it, to be part of a club like that, but also just to witness and see a club like that. We obviously know an ex-Amsterdam hockey player, Justin Reid-Ross, and to walk in and to witness that every week, like he did, must have been incredible. Me just being a trainer there at the moment is incredible. You get like sort of little, you pinch yourself, you get little goosebumps now and then. You're like, shit, you know what the type of talent that's come through here. You've got a Spanish internet, well, an ex-Olympiad Spanish player, Santi Frazier, who's coaching the men's first side here. So when you walk into a clubhouse, you just see him. That's quite an eye opener, and then you just see random Dutch internationals walking past you every day. So, so you sort of like you try to play it cool, two-star strike. I haven't posed for a photo yet, lad. So don't worry. I'll keep.
I'm sure. I'm sure that they don't have to worry about paying their way to the Olympics, so that's the least of their concerns.
Oh no, they don't even pay for club hockey. So when you play first side over here, any first side from like, I think I got told from under 15 or under 16, you don't pay. Like if you play for the A sides, and if you're a national player, you obviously don't pay at all. And yeah, we've got 5 AstroTurfs. One AstroTurf is in a stadium which can hold, I think it's 9,500 people.
It's so wild.
So I will send some photos to you guys when I'm in the stadium, and I'll actually our A sides are allowed to train in the stadiums. So from the 14s are allowed to train in the stadium.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so life's it's a very big eye opener when you're starting to see under 12 kids, under 12 boys playing better than most under 17, under 16 players I've ever worked with in my life. It's an eye opener. And when you look across the road, you see your opposition club, and you literally see their AstroTurfs right across the road from you.
Oh, then it's quite nice to just keep an eye on what they're doing ahead of match day.
Put it this way: every coach, once a week, so they call it the hockey triangle here in Amsterdam. It's Amsterdam Hockey, Pundits, and Hurley. And once a week, the hockey directors, have a meeting together every week. So 1 week it's in Amsterdam, the next week's at Pundits, the next week's at Hurley. So they always, over here, nothing's a secret. Like, nothing's a secret. Like, coaches don't hide shit from each other. They don't hide information from each other. It's like, cool, everyone knows what we're going to do. We just got to make sure we're better than their preparations on the day, which is quite an eye-opener, because back home, everything's a secret. If you know something, you keep it to yourself because you're worried about your job. So, Cooks, you'll probably go in rugby. Rugby, I know, it's pretty, you share to a point and you keep a lot to yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, it's at some places, some guys do share. But like most of the time, books actually share. Like you said, you share a little bit, not everything, because like you still like, man, I can't share everything because like this is my information. So like I obtain this information, so I'm not gonna share it. I remember like what the guys, the coaches, what we used to do was so during warm-ups, one of us would go to the opposition warm-ups and just stand there and just look. Don't say a word, just stand there, just like and wait for the opposition. Which opposition coach is gonna say a word? So you're just gonna stand there and just watch. And because when they used to warm up, it's like at the bottom of a hill, and I sometimes just stand on top of the hill and I'll just watch while we're busy warming up. I'll just watch. Not watching it, just to like. There's one coach like, sorry, can you please I'm like, oh sorry, no, this is where I stand when you warm up. Sorry, just because.
Yeah, it's really a different set of it's a different world over here. Like last week Tuesday, when I went to the club to actually meet the people at the club, randomly in our stadium, the Dutch national men are busy training at 1:00 in the afternoon. They just you can walk in there, just don't have a cell phone in your hand, but you can walk in and watch. Like not a problem at all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
First team training, you can go and
Not
watch.
a bad
Like,
environment.
people, they're very open here. Like they're very open when it comes to that. I think the fact is, there's so much video here. I watched our club's first team ladies play this afternoon. It's on live stream here. It's on sometime. Well, like games are on television here, so you can't
hide.
Yeah, you can't hide. Like, there's so much video of you here. So you may as well just keep it open and just be transparent. And your nitty gritties are in the change room. That's where you make your big coaching decisions or your
100%.
little tweaks. So yeah, it's been an eye opener. It's been good. Hoping a few more things happen. I've also worked with under 18 A girls at the club the last 2 weeks, so that's incredible. 6 national players in that team for their age group. 5 of them have got first team caps for our club already.
Wow.
And most of them are 17. So
crazy.
different world.
Yeah. So let's get on to the F1. Like I said earlier, it really feels like this is the first race of the season because it's been so long.
He's breaking too long. He's breaking between like a kid.
Yeah, it's been crazy. One thing that I did see, I know that the Haas team initially said that they're not going to do too many adjustments and upgrades to the cars this year. But I did see a little sneak peek of some upgrades that they did to the Mazepin car after the opening race.
That's a beauty.
Just a little bit of extra traction there for the guy to help him out in his second race.
Guys, I want to just stay on Mazepin. He's probably the worst driver I've seen in Formula One so far.
100%.
And I'm not taking him on the lap. I watched the one thing that I'm quite. Oh, thank you for the beer. See, you made an appearance in the podcast.
He's getting service there.
Yeah, he's living the life.
No, I've just been served. She came back from work and she served me a beer. On that, back home I could never get the luxury of F1 TV, and I found it was just too expensive, like, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now I've got F1 TV, so I'm like making a point of watching F2 and actually watching the entire weekend, properly, and the post shows and that. That fucking guy couldn't keep the car on the road the entire weekend. Like, the entire weekend.
Even practice and everything, he was spinning off the whole time.
It's like he's never been in a car like that. Like, and the F2 was different. Like, don't get me wrong, but they're not that different in that regard. And I looked at it, I was just thinking about it, I was like, did Haas get it completely wrong? Like, I would have much rather have had I would have much rather banked myself on a Hulkenberg or something, like in this. Given a mix.
The problem is because the dad spent so much money on the. So I read a thing that apparently every single team that Mazepin's ever been involved with, like since Carter, has always been sponsored by his dad. So I mean that raises massive red flags.
Yeah, well, we know that because if you think about it, Latifi's in the same situation. I mean, Latifi's only in Williams is his dad in that Sofina sponsorship. That is his dad. It's the biggest, I think, planning.
Everyone takes the piss out of Lance Stroll because obviously his dad's involvement in what's it now, Aston Martin. But he's not a bad driver. I mean, he's not doing shit.
If you compare him to the other rich boys, well, I know they're all rich boys, if you think about it, because everyone's parents have had a bit of money to get them to college and everything. But like the rich boys about getting seats for their money, Lance Stroll's miles ahead of them, like miles ahead of them.
I know everyone takes this out of him, but he does deserve a seat, whether it's in the team that he's in or somewhere else, but he's good enough. This Mazepin guy, I don't know, maybe hopefully he gets better for his own sake, but fuck, it was a dog show.
My story of the weekend, I think, was obviously Sergio Perez, who had a bit of a life's good, Jade. Life's good. We're drinking good beer now, so life's good. I think the story of the weekend, obviously, Perez had a good from all the situations, that she
amazing to finish fifth from
amazing. But Yuki was I had my doubts about Yuki as well.
Yeah.
Thought, did they maybe push him up a bit too early? Did he prove me wrong? That kid can fucking drive. So he, it was. I think out of all the novices, I think like Yuki by far smashed the field. I know he's in a slightly better car than everyone, but my word, that he's going to be a problem on some tracks. He's going to be a real problem.
As long as they keep the car on the track and don't have too many mechanical issues and whatever.
I think he's got a feel for Gasly. I think he qualified really well. He had a good practice. He was really quick. And then obviously, it's racing, clipped Ricciardo, and then had to change the front wing, and then it was just an absolute nightmare for him from there.
Yeah, it's difficult to come back from that. But one thing I also saw is for Italy this weekend, obviously the biggest talking point last week was the track limits, and Hamilton seemed to be going over it, almost every lap at one stage, and then Max does it once, and now he's got an advantage. I saw they've now cleared up the rules a little bit for this weekend, where there's 3 corners where if you go over track limits, the 3rd time you'll get a warning, the 4th time they'll penalize.
The thing is, though, with the track limits thing, I knew it was always going to be a problem, and though I knew it was going to be a problem from the second practice, because they said in the second practice that they're just going to monitor the track limits. They're not really going to enforce it too much. They're going to monitor it, and the drivers know the track limits to the track. So I was like, yeah, but that doesn't make it clear enough, because somewhere along the line, someone's going to take advantage of it. And unfortunately, well, I know it came out, Massey said that Max had to give the place back, but you know what? If I was Red Bull, I wouldn't have given the place back. I would have finished the race and then fight it after the race. Because if you think about all the track, all the laps, Mercedes, who were abusing the track limits, gaining on people by abusing those track limits, okay, would they have been so close to Max if they weren't abusing the track limits?
Well, that's exactly the thing, is everyone's saying that, or the general thing seems to be that Max got an advantage because he went past Hamilton, which obviously is an advantage. But if you're doing that, even though you're not passing someone, you're putting up quicker lap times every lap, and surely that's an advantage as well.
For me, it clearly is an advantage. And I think it's pretty unfair to look at the whole advantage thing over one incident. If you look at, I would have gone and looked at, it's a 55 lap race. So how many times did they, Mercedes being they, break the track limits and look at the times they set out? If they did it over 20 laps. Now, they've got an advantage 20 times.
Yeah, 100%.
But don't you think it's that thing as well? It's like it's if the guys at the top are looking at it like crap, that actually affect. That's the big talking point, because unfortunately that's the one where Max goes and basically he wins the race. If he doesn't have to give his place back, he wins the race. So it's like now they're in a catch-22. It's like, did he abuse the track limits? Yes, he did. But crap, that's if you don't call this now, we in the dog box, because then the Mercedes will be like, oh, like I think for them, like the caught between a rock and a hard place. I think Mark was like,
I agree with you. I totally agree with you, Cooks. But I still think it's an argument. If I was Red Bull, I would be willing to fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Race.
You go back and be like, if we lose, we'll be second anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you're going to get a 10-second penalty and you're going to go back to second? He was already, already, I think, 11 seconds ahead of Bottas or whatever, or whoever was. I can't even remember who was third. So, I don't know. I just, exciting race. Don't get me wrong. I think at the end of the day, we can't complain about the first race of the season. It was absolutely quality.
It's a bit of a pity that whole incident took away from a great race, and also took away from great pit strategies from Mercedes.
Yeah,
because they really and now no one's looking at that. Everyone's just looking at the fuck up with Max.
And a phenomenal drive from Hamilton to hold Max off form.
Oh yeah. I said straight about that race. Sorry, Cooks, you're busy breaking up on my side. So carry on.
Sorry, the Wi-Fi, my connection is horrific. But it's we're still reeling from load shedding. But it's like Wally said, it's frustrating because when you look back at that race, there's so many great talking points. Sergio Perez basically blazing through the field, in quick, like a Red Bull is so fast. And then Hamilton's amazing drive. I thought, like you said, I think with Red Bull, with me, it was if I'm Red Bull, I'm actually more upset at the pit strategy more than anything else. It's easy. Look at it went above the track limits, but Red Bull threw the race away. That was their race to win. I still think with that, obviously Mercedes knows they're the slower car, so they have to. Pit strategy is going to be very well. They've got to execute, make sure they. And for me with Red Bull, I still think they let that race slip. There's no way Max should have lost it. They shouldn't have been in a position where they're chasing Lewis Hamilton. Because my thing was what the race was like. I'll put my money, my house on Lewis Hamilton defending a lead. I don't care who's behind it. If I'm Red Bull, you don't want to be in that situation. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in that situation. So if I'm Red Bull, I'm looking back and going, we threw that away more than anything else.
Yeah.
I think it didn't help that Perez. Obviously had some issues.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Because the undercut was always on Max. So I do think I think Perez's car will be sorted. I watched a program last night. There's a brilliant program here the Dutch television's got called. I don't know if it's just on Dutch television. It could be some on European television. It's called GP Confidential. So it's a program that talks about the previous races, the strategies used, and the next race, and what strategies teams will use. And they go to each team and they talk about the adjustments teams will be making to their car for the new track. So it's super detailed, from how the aero works to they could be raising the back for the next race. All these little things. It's super, for F1 nuts. It's incredible. And I don't know if there's a YouTube channel for it or something, but if there is, please go watch it. It's amazing. And they were talking.
What's it called again?
GP Confidential.
No, Jeff. Not.
And hello, Julian. And and they're really talking about like they were talking about the strategies, and they were talking about obviously the Perez's car was there was a error or the system that Red Bull had never seen, so they didn't even pick that error. Never even came up during testing and stuff like that. So it was completely new. So it was a completely out of the blue in the system, which now they've picked up and they've seen it and they know how to deal with it. So
they did the basic IT test of putting it on and off again,
switching it on and off. Yeah, restart. And
the problems.
And they feel that they really feel that well, the show that I was watching, they were saying that if Perez is closer to Max or closer to in the top 4, undercut is going to be a real problem for Mercedes because how quick the Honda is at the moment. That Honda engine is at the moment. Yeah. You're not just going to be able to undercut with absolute ease.
Well, that was exactly Red Bull's problem last year, is that they never had, well, not just last year, for a couple of years, is that they've never had someone close enough to Max.
I think since Danny Rick left, they've been struggling. They've been struggling.
As long as they can keep both cars on the track, I think they're going to cause big shit for Mercedes.
On the track, I mean, I can't see anyone stopping them. I mean, like, we saw how quickly, for me, it wasn't Perez going from 20th to 5th. It was how quickly he did it. It wasn't like how quickly, like, it was like with ease. It was just like sorry, next. You're like, oh, Jesus, guy's back in. So it's like, so for me, I think that's a scary thing with Mercedes. I think with Red Bull. I think obviously Max. I just hope for Red Bull's sake. Like, I think they all in on Max. So there's like, that's been with the Christian Horners. Like, we got to get Max to win. You got to get Max to win. You got to get Max to win. You got to get Max to win. Where I think if they get the emphasis on, listen, if we can just get 2 cars to finish. We've got the fastest cars on the mark. We just need 2 cars to finish. If we get to the top, take care of itself.
What would also be very interesting, and hopefully we get to see that this race, is both Max and Perez, in a good car that's without any issues against each other, and to see of the 2 of them who really is the fastest.
Yeah, 100%. Because I'm not ruling off after last week. I'm not ruling out all Sergio Perez to make a little run here. Like
no, not at all. I mean, I actually picked him in my fantasy team. Actually,
yeah,
I picked him in my Formula 1 fantasy team because I back him in that car. He's a hell of a quick driver, and put him in a good car or put him in a quick car. He's going to show you. He's pushing it to the max.
And he's also he's safer than a Max, because Max, for example, like we know Max he takes all the chances. I just think if Max is able to rein it in a little bit, he's in a good car. If he's able to at least be a little bit smarter, obviously that comes with experience. He wins multiple championships, especially with that.
So the big thing here is, and what I've seen just like on television on this side is, there's a massive pressure on Max to win because win pretty soon, because it makes him the youngest ever
100%
champion. So I think everyone like recognizes Max as going to be a world champion.
Yeah.
But there's all this emphasis on getting him to be the youngest champion.
Yeah.
That is like the big emphasis at the moment. So I think that
Horner said himself. He said himself. He said it's like I think it was the first Drive to Survive seasons, like we got to try to make Max the youngest driver, and it's like you can see it now that pressure goes into Max, and Max makes stupid mistakes when he should make. Whereas, like for example, like I think because he keeps thinking of the Vettel thing when Vettel was there.
Yes.
When Vettel was there, they called us miles better. They were so far streets ahead of everyone else, and Vettel was a safer driver than Max. Now the problem is they're chasing Mercedes, who's had a better car for the last couple of years, and they've got a better driver in Lewis Hamilton, a more experienced driver. So when Max crashes into the wall, who's the one that capitalizes on that? Mercedes. So when
Mercedes have got 2 safe drivers, if you think about it. They've got 2 safe drivers.
Well, Bottas is too fucking safe. That's the other problem.
But he finishes the race.
And he's a walking podium, basically. That's what he is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's basically like, so if Mercedes keeps both cars on the track more times than not the last 6 years, they're getting 2 podiums, either 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. So I think with like you said, with Red Bull, I think it's the whole trying to get Max to be the youngest champion is putting unnecessary pressure on them because like you said, now time is right. But in my thing, if it's close this year, you know, like still gonna go to Monaco, so still gonna go to the tight races where speed isn't that much of an emphasis. So what happens now if it's really tight? That's when I'm like, we've got to get Max to it. That's when the cracks will come through.
That's where we know Lewis wins then.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Tight. He's so tight.
That's the races where Perez maybe sneaks in as well because
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
he'll stay on the track, you know.
100%.
Before we wrap up the Formula One, top 3 predictions for Italy, Geeks.
I'm gonna say Red Bull get it right this week at Imola, and I think Max wins it. Lewis second because that Merc might be a bit slower, but it's still, it's still quick. And my mind says Bottas, but I don't really want to go Bottas. I want to, you know what I'm going to do? No, you know what I'm going? I'm going Lando Norris for a podium. I thought the kid was brilliant in Bahrain.
Yeah.
I thought he was really, really good. McLaren was looking good. To be fair, Cooks, our team was shaky, but
not too bad. We weren't too bad.
A bit better than last year.
You showed a glimpse of we showed a glimpse of life. Listen, I thought I was feeling positive after the weekend.
I didn't feel too discouraged.
Yeah.
But now this week the pressure's on because now that it's at their home race.
No, it's home for Alpha.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Italy is home. Let's put it that way. Jade, Lewis, Max, Bottas.
Yeah. That's pretty standard stuff. That.
You know what? I'm going after all the Red Bull bashing I've done. I'm actually going Keys. I think they get it right. I mean, I think they're going 1-2. So I got Max first, Sergio 2, Hamilton at 3.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think they get. I think they get it right.
Exactly what I had in mind, Cooks.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I had in mind as well. Red Bull 1-2, Max first, and Hamilton in third.
I think I just picked Norris as well because I just love that kid. I think that kid is something special.
The back-face assassin.
I think Red Bull makes a statement this weekend. Like I think they make a proper statement saying, "Listen, we need to win it. After last weekend, we need to win it."
I agree. I agree.
Jade says those are the only 3 drivers I know. It's still a good shout, Jade.
Jade, you do know Schumacher. There's a Schumacher back, so just put him into every prediction that you have.
It's a pity that Schumacher's got a fucking wheelbarrow to drive in though.
And he's got a teammate that's got training wheels.
Yeah.
At least he's got Gunther. They'll make good TV.
Listen, I am all for Gunther being Ferrari's next chief. All for that.
No, I'll definitely take. I'm all in for Gunther or we give Zach Brown a blank check.
100%. If Gunther gets a Ferrari by some godly manner, I swear I will buy. You will see me draped like walking around in Ferrari merch all day. Just for that man, because that will be pure bands permanently.
Oh yeah. So good.
But they need to bring out a shirt with his face on.
Yeah.
Even better.
We'll have to speak and like one of his famous quotes or something on the back.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah. Is this a fucking circus? That's my favorite.
That is the winner. That's the winner there.
I think we need to speak to the people at Puma and make this happen.
That'd be
beautiful. They're sponsored by Puma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to make it happen then.
Puma's got Ferrari and Merc.
A black and white Gunter face, and like a picture in black and white with a speech bubble. So
So another thing that caught our attention this week was the little haka that we saw in the Varsity Shield. Walter Sisulu University. I know they've been doing it for a couple of years now. I think for like 2 or 3 years since they've been playing in the competition. But caused quite a stir this week when the Varsity Shield account shared that video of them doing the haka.
I'm leaving to Cooks to get onto it.
I think it's like it's a you know for me it was like it's always been like like it felt like they were disrespecting or mocking the haka, especially because like they were saying the Maori sayings. It was like it was like exact same replica, and I was frustrated about it and extremely like upset. But then like it's tough to be upset when if the All Blacks come out and say, well, we're fine with it, so it's like like now what do you say? So it's like I just, what, like for me it's like I think our point is like they could have come up with their own original chant or war cry, something to do a traditional one. I think that would have been really cool. But like it's so. I mean, it's gained such attention now to the fact that like it's you don't want the haka to be. And my thing was because like that, especially the couple pango, that haka is a haka that the All Black side specifically made for them. They made a new one, and the one they use for the big games. When they play against the Box, they use that haka. They play in World Cup finals. That's the haka they use. So for them, it's not just like a normal the kamate, which has been obviously in the history. The ones that the sevens use, the 20s use. Like now, that Kopo Pango, their own special one. So like to see someone else do it, it's like it doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh man. Like when you see the Kopo Pango, it's like, okay, cool. Like okay, the All Blacks are up for it. Like, this is a massive game. Like it's tough to.
Yeah, it sets the tone for an All Black game because even though like the kamate, which we're all used to, because that was the standard they used to do, the tradition that they used to do. We know whichever haka they do. Well, when we see it, we're like, oh shit, it's on now. Like you know, like that is what it sets the tone for the game even more. And I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. And my voice clear on Twitter and that, and I just think that I think like in today's day and age, and especially troubles at home and culture being such a big thing, I prefer to see people be a bit more original and try to follow their own cultural sort of paths. I understand. I'm not saying that you can't have the All Blacks to look up to. I'm not saying you can't. You can look up to any team in the world. But yeah, taking something that's sacred or ritual like to the one team, and I don't know. I saw them get a statement from the New Zealand cultural thing and saying they're all fine as long as people respect the traditions and how it's been done and everything. Yeah, it's all talk to me. I just think that if you saw Europeans doing a Zulu dance, I don't think I'm going to be too happy about it. It's not going to sit me. I don't care how well they do it. I don't care how well they speak Zulu. It's not going to sit well with me.
To me, it's just we've got 11 languages. We've got how many different cultures, everything. Surely they could have done something similar with our cultures, and even maybe do a mashup similar to the national anthem, where you do it in a couple languages, do maybe a bit of Zulu dancing and a bit of Xhosa dancing, just don't fucking dance like the Buddha dance, because that's just going to embarrass us. But
a little in there as well.
Yeah, Buckies would enjoy that. But yeah, also they did come out with that statement, and as you mentioned, and they said, you know, they are inspired by the All Blacks, and they try and sort of shape their play around the All Blacks, which is fair, which is fine, because, you know, the All Blacks have been the best rugby team for many years. But there's a huge difference between playing like someone and trying to copy a traditional, you know, war cry that they use in that country.
I think it's like, you know, for me, like at the end of the day, like I think the last couple of days after you see what after the New Zealand statement when New Zealand rugby came out and said, listen, we all for something that if the haka inspires them to do it, we're all for it. It's not disrespectful, and I don't think that Wusu is trying to be disrespectful. I think I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there are things, and they've done their research, and there are things in that haka that they relate to, and you know, it's like, I mean, I played for a rugby class, for example, where the theme song is actually Ireland's call, where they've changed the words from Ireland to the name of the club. It's like, but guys, well, national team,
we actually did that at school.
Yeah, and it's like that's another team's like national anthem. So it's like, you know, like, so for me, it's like I give him the benefit of doubt in terms like now having gone back after a couple of days where he goes like, you know what, if maybe they've gone and looked up the values of that, they go like, this is our values as well. They could have maybe I think they could have gone about it another way. But listen, if end of the day for me, it's like if you've seen it rugby's goes thumbs up, they're not too happy, then it's like, okay, cool. Just I mean, like when they do it, it's like when they do it, you know, I think it's also like the closest we've gotten to watching the All Blacks in like versus South Africa. So it's like, can you put the Springboks there just to like reminisce, just to like can the Boks play rugby again? Like,
I think for me, like, you know what, I have no problem with teams doing hakas and things like that, but I'm totally with Kooks, like, in that fact where, like, you could have maybe gone a different route and maybe come up with something your own. Like, do a haka, that's fine, but the copy-paste is what irks me and what doesn't sit well with me. Because, like Cook said, like, the Kapa Pongo was made by the All Blacks for special occasion. They came up with it. There's a lot of thing that sits with that. Like, you know, there's a lot of tradition. There's not just tradition. There's a lot of, you know, hard work has gone into that, and they use that for special occasions.
Yeah.
So
they won.
I think they won.
I think they won like that.
Yeah. I must say, when I saw the score, I also saw this, like, obviously a runaway score. My first reaction was like, fuck, I hope it was them that lost. When I saw they won.
No,
listen, it is, I think, like, it is what it is, and you're not going to get it out of them, I think, at this point in time. I don't feel that everyone has to accept it, and I don't feel that us as sports people, you know, just have to go, okay, well, New Zealand rugby, they're okay with it. I think we're allowed to have our opinion and allowed to say that it doesn't sit well with us. I think the one thing about South African sport is even fierce rivals, we pay a lot of respect to people. I think that's the one thing we do pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think the most of the rugby family at home is all with him.
It's hard to argue against Jade on this side.
Yeah. Yo, Jade just flipped quicker than anything else there.
Yeah.
He flipped quicker than an Arsenal fan. But yeah, for me, I think one thing I do like to see is, like, you know, I've seen this past week on this whole thing is, like, South African rugby fans, like, we have our enemies in sport, but we are hell of a respectful about traditions and stuff like that of other sports teams. I like to see it, and it's a really cool it's nice to see from a country that has our own,
Yeah.
people saying, traditions and we call it cultural appropriation or whatever, and that like it is a problem back home. But I do think it's great when the respect we do show to other sporting teams, for the cultural stuff that they have, and
100%.
we feel pretty strong about things like that, which is great.
I'll just wrap a section up by just mentioning, I should have done it in the beginning, that we did speak to the PR, so Reese, who's been a reader of the blog for many years and a good friend of ours. She does the PR for the varsity sports. And we did try and get someone from WSU on the show tonight, but they've actually got a match. I think she said it starts at 7 or started at 7.
Against the Impies or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see maybe on Monday when we do the next show if someone from their side is keen to come on. And then the last thing on this topic that I just want to say is what I would really love to see is they've got an huge amount of publicity now, and it would have been amazing. I don't know what's happening in the game tonight, but it would have been amazing if they did change it up and did, design or whatever their own little haka. I think that it would have been very, very cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Are you guys online there?
Yeah,
We are here.
All right, so now we'll get to the point that I'm sure Cooks have been waiting for quite a while, is the Champions League results of the week.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful scenes.
Cooks, your thoughts on
Making a
Chelsea?
semi.
Yeah?
Losing and still making a semi.
Hey.
Look, I'll take
There's 2 legs for don't be that guy. There's 2 legs for a reason.
Hey, Wally's the one that doesn't want 2-leg football anyway.
I want 2-leg football. I just don't want the fucking away goal rule. That's all.
Well, apparently next year that rule is being stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I know they've been chatting about it for quite a while.
I trust UEFA as far as I can see them.
Yeah. To be fair, guys, I think I'm one of the few people that's on the that's for the away goal rule. I just think it makes.
I'm for it.
I just think it makes the first leg like enticing. You know what I mean? It's a reward. If I go, for example, like we go to Spain against Atletico Madrid, and we win like 1-0 or 2-0, like yes, maybe I do. Like yes, you do get a reward. It makes the second leg, because sometimes, like for example, you look at the game yesterday, Liverpool and Real Madrid. If it's 3-1, but Liverpool win 2-0, Liverpool go through. It's a different ball game. It at least makes it more exciting. I mean, I've been on both ends of the away goal rule, and it absolutely like ruined it it's like ruined me. Like you go like with Barca scores in the last minute, and then we lose no away goals, and like that happens. But it's also like we've been in situations where you're down 3-1 when in most circumstances the leg is finished. It's like, oh well, how much you can do now? But now the away goal rule, at least it had some sort of spice there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I get what Jade says. Where
I'm for it and against it. I'm a for it and against it. Like
the thing is,
60% for it and like 40% against it. Like it is like rough. Like again, like yesterday, like should go to extra time. But then it's like, you know what? They like PSG went to Germany. I mean, and got 2 goals there. So, like that's a reward you get. Like you went away from home, you got and you got 2 goals there. Like it's got to count for something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because it is true what you're saying, that sometimes it is nice. Sometimes it sort of not helps you, but it makes for a bit of a spectacle. But then sometimes, like I remember a couple of years ago against PSG, we ended up falling out. I think it was the last 16.
Yeah.
I can't remember how the goals were scored home and away, but it was 3-3 on aggregate, and we ended up being kicked out, and we were actually unbeaten in the Champions League at that time.
Yeah.
You never lost the game, but you're out of the Champions League.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Sometimes it works out like that. Then you just go, but fuck, this is nonsensical because what's going on here.
A lot of people think without the away goals, teams are gonna go like, oh well, there's no away goal rule. Let's just go for it now. I still think it's gonna be like, well, if I'm going to Spain, this is like, well, you know what? Let me try. I'm like, listen, if I lose 0-0, if it's 0-0 draw, I still go back home and take the same result and try. Let me try and win this game at home. Like, you know what I mean? You're not gonna go there and be more expensive.
What they're trying to do is, well, we obviously know, like they're trying to entice the away team to not just sit back with 11 guys behind the ball. And they're trying to make an incentive for the away team to go and score, which is great at times. I think what we've got to look at, and I think the whole away goal situation is, because I'm not totally against it in a way, but I do feel that all our teams have been, like United and Chelsea have been screwed on away goals in different leagues in the competition.
I'm sure every single team has been screwed.
I think what needs to be looked at though is how many times have you been screwed on their way? And I don't think it's that high for every team.
Yeah, and 100% agree with you. But also, like, the away goal rule has also made for some really good drama. Like, for example, in the City game yesterday, at 2-2, 50 minutes, the game flips on its head. Now it's like City were in cruise mode, Dortmund get an early goal. Now City got to find a goal from somewhere, but they can't. What do you mean? They can't sit back and defend because if Dortmund scores again, it's like extra time. But then so you still have to like it's that buffer where it's like you know what I mean. Like if it's like you playing. I mean, like I'll never forget that when PSG match fixed basically when they had a 4-0 lead and basically scored a goal and Barcelona scored 2 more goals in like 5 minutes to win 6-4. Like match fixing because there's no way. It's impossible. It's still impossible. You don't lose a game 6 like. I still get pissed off about it. Like there still needs to be like investigated. But you know what I mean? Like, it changed the game. You know what I mean? It's like they have the away goal rule. Team scores. It's like, oh crap! Now let's score 2 goals. 25. It's like, or like you score a goal. Like you can't sit back and I can't now park the bus unless obviously you like peak Jose Mourinho. But I mean, like otherwise, like you can't sit and like park the bus and be like, well, we got a 1 goal. It's like, well, if they score, we can score 2 goals now. So let's at least get a buffer and make it 2-0 because we're at home. We have the advantage. But I mean,
well, isn't it like you guys wouldn't have had those epic battles with Liverpool if you never had the away goal thing? Because you had some epic battles with Liverpool in the Champions League. Goals and.
So there's a great question from Jade. What do you guys prefer in the away goal rule, playing home or away first? So I prefer away first. It's just simple to me. If you're playing away first, you know exactly what you need to do at home.
And you should always do the job at home.
Yeah.
It's like you get the job done at home, and then, but he's like, because I mean, I would hate, like, I just think, like, imagine, like, for example, like, you play against like PSG or something, or like Man City, or 1-0 lead to defend, like, and you're just like, boys, these dogs are coming for 90 minutes. They're coming.
That'll be peak Mourinho with any team he coaches.
And then you're like, these dogs are coming. And like, but like, to be fair, like, Mourinho is also in an article talking about him parking the bus. They're talking about the day against Barca when he parked the bus. He's like, well, the reason I parked the bus is when you played at home, I beat them 2-1. So I did my job. Now I'm going to. Why on earth should I go to Spain and Barca and try and match them goal for goal? I did my part. So I got a 3-1 and be like, sorry, Oaks, you should screen like no thanks. You don't want the ball. You Oaks do whatever you want. I've done my job. So it's like.
Yeah, I get that though, Cooks. But like, in all fairness, like it's like say rugby was in 2 legs and you won at home. Or you just gonna you're never sending a team out just to tackle for fucking this and not trying to do not trying to have an attack on. Every time you get the ball, kick it deep, kick it onto their fullback, and we're just gonna press up and tackle. And when we get the ball, we kick it to their fullback, press deep, and we're gonna tackle. Like it just.
But isn't that what the Blue Bulls do?
I mean, we all we all played and like coach and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I've come to situations where you're coaching, you're like, oh, listen here, there's 20 minutes left here. We got about to.
Agree with you.
We need to.
You go down the back and you fucking sit.
And like we need to we need to shut up shop here. We need to. I think with Mourinho in terms like he's going, I've got a 3-1 lead here. I don't have to win. They have to come and beat me. So like, do I go there and risk? Do I go and try and outplay them, knowing that I'm playing in their hands? But like with me, it's like there still needs to be some intent, like some intent in your play, like not just sit back. I mean, it's like if you do the hard yards at home, and my thing is like I was with Mourinho, like what I used to hate was like you just get to like random games, like what teams are parked the bus, but it's like it's a normal league game, for example, and I want 1 point. Sorry, just 1 point. Sorry, you're not scoring. I'm not scoring, and it's like okay, that's 90 minutes of my life I'm not getting back. Like
I think that's my thing with him though. Like, I think that's where my problem was this whole parking the bus thing is like you go. I always believe like you prepare a team to win, or you prepare to go and get the result. And when you win the game, and you see, oh, maybe shit's not going well, or fuck, what we planned for this game is going pear-shaped. What are we going to do rather than lose this game? We're going to shut up shop. We're going to try and defend the rest of the game. It just feels too many times that not just him, but a lot of other teams go into ties going, I believe like old United bosses did the same thing, like go into games be like, no, we're cool with that. Like they literally go in from minute one. No, I'm cool. No, yeah. And I just don't think that that's sport. I mean, you always try and go in to try and get a result. 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the game, if you realize we're being outplayed, we're outmuscled, we're not good enough today, yes, then you can try and leave the game with 0-0. But at least try and win it. Like, play the game to try and win it first before you decide to do that.
No, I agree with you. But I see Jade's point here. I think what Jade's trying to say, like, is the thing you said. PSG wins United, beats United 2-0 at Old Trafford. You have to do the job at home. Like, that's the... Like, if you get the away goal rule, I mean, you go away from home and you still get a win. Like, PSG's in the pound seat. It's like you up 2-0 at home in France. You got to get the job done. Surely, like, you don't lose at home. I think that's value of, like, or I like playing the away game first away. Because then at home is like, you shouldn't lose at home. Like, you shouldn't lose your home games. Whereas, like well, talking about Chelsea yesterday, like, I mean, I thought, like, we were in that pound seat of, we won the first leg, technically away from home. 2-0. So we in the pound seat going into the game today. So like Tuchel sets up and goes, listen. And like what's frustrating for us, like in that game was like while you saw the game was like the ref was the man of the match because that's all I heard the whole game. Stop. And like
I don't think Chelsea went into that game trying to defend that lead. Like you guys try to go for it. It just you good enough on the night to score.
Yeah. But Porto as well, just to not let us play. I mean, like, I don't know what Christian Pulisic was Porto dependent because when he picked the ball, they just started kicking him. I was like, what? Like, it's
at one stage, I thought it was Eden Hazard playing.
Yeah, 100%. Just like reminds me of the days when Eden Hazard was playing. Like, and at a stage, I thought it was actually personal. I was like, maybe Pulisic did something in Portugal and Oxford dig him here. Like, it's just like no. But I must say I'm happy. Happy we got through. I think I must say I'm confident. I can't believe it's been so long since we've been in a Champions League semi-final. Because there used to be a stage where like we got the record. We just passed United as the most English side with the most Champions League semi-finals. Like it's like the worst and it's like a good stat and a shitty stat because we've only won it once. So like we've been like 8 semis.
That was going to be my next question. How many times have you won it, Lance?
But what Cooks is saying is at one stage we were
once. What does that mean?
We were in the semis like every year almost, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And now,
I understand both of his points. Like he's like, it's a great stat to have, but then you look at how many times you converted it, and then it's like, I like that stat.
Yeah, like when England they've been in 3 finals.
Do you think we're taking Madrid in the semis?
Yeah, I'm confident. flip sakes, it's like you know, Real Madrid, Real Madrid. I was actually gonna make this point about Lewis Hamilton.
They're gonna win the league. They're gonna win this thing, boys. They know how to win this They know how to win this Champions League thing. They know how to win.
That's like it's like, you know what?
When you're speaking vegan, I'll mute you.
This is a smash and grab Madrid. Smash
but
and grab.
Keegan's making my point. I was like, you know what? Real Madrid and Lewis Hamilton remind me, they're very much alike. Like, how many times when the season is chaotic, come August, September, Lewis Hamilton wins 4 races in a row and then blows the lead, and then the season's done. How many times does Madrid report to say in August, September, November? You're like, oh guys, Real Madrid is done, and then you blink and you're just like, oh geez, they're in the Champions League final again. So it's like,
and they're nowhere in the league. They're nowhere in the league, but they're in the Champions League final.
If you look at now, like they were no of the season, they were nowhere. They were hopeless. I mean, like now they're a point of Atletico Madrid in the La Liga, which I think they're going to win that as well. Now they're in the Champions League semi-final, so I think listen, they know how to win. I mean, those Oaks. I mean, Sergio Ramos was won it 4 times. Most of those Oaks there were there when they won it 3 times in a row. So I'm confident in Chelsea. I think I'm a lot more confident now under Tuchel than I've been in a long time, because my main reason of confidence is the fact that I know we're solid defensively. So I know that it's going to be tough to break down. So I know Real Madrid, like the thing is, Real Madrid, like I'm excited to see it for the tactical battle, because obviously like Real Madrid's got, I mean, that midfield, Kroos, Modric, Casemiro is like they're outstanding. But I mean, Kante, I still back Kante, Kovacic, and I'm just hoping that we just convert our chances. I feel like if there's a time that's going to bite us in the arse, it could be.
I think that's where you lose the battle.
Yeah,
they're way more clinical in scoring than what you guys are. Way more clinical.
That's my biggest issue. And you, Wally, are we winning? I think we're winning.
I think we take it. Yeah, I have to say that. I mean, come on, you know,
it's my heart.
Stars are aligning us. It's gonna happen. It's very much got to feel to me like 2012 felt to me. And I think we're gonna take it, and I think we'll. I suppose just for the storyline, we have to meet PSG in the final, right?
Yeah, that'll be proper. Thing is, though, I've got here's my thing. We lose on Saturday, City in the semi-final FA Cup, and we beat them in the Champions League final. That's my bet. I should actually go to Betway right now and say we lose the Champions League, we lose this weekend to City, we get them back in the ruin their quadruple dream. And it's like, thanks, Pep.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think City smash and grab this Champions League. It's just it's not City. Sorry, Real Madrid. This is so Real Madrid.
Yeah, definitely.
Where they've come out of nowhere. Next minute they're in the Champions League final, and next minute they're lifting the trophy.
Yeah,
it's like Zidane and Real Madrid thing to do.
I'm more
agree with you.
I'm more intrigued with what you call it, because that City PSG semi-final, I think, great, because it's two sides whose owners have pumped in money to win the Champions League, and it's so ironic that it's like one
cash.
Yeah, like it'd been for me, like in terms it'd been the perfect final, because it's like City are desperate for a champion. Well, Pep is desperate for a champion. PSG is desperate for a Champions League. So like the thing is, I think personally City is the best competition left. I think City is better than PSG, but obviously PSG has got Mbappe and Neymar. But if you look at it as a whole,
that midfield of City can crush them with ease if they want to do.
I think that's what they. I mean,
I think that game's definitely the one to watch. I think it's definitely going to be more exciting than our semi-final, because I think they're both going to be balls to the wall. Yeah, the petrol are 100%.
I'm just excited. Do you know what, Jay? Keegs, this could be United sneaking in a sneaky little Premier League run here, because those games coming thick and fast, and like Pep now is going to start considering where it's like, hey, do I rest a couple of Oaks for the for the league games, or do I play? Because they've got a tough.
Whoa, mate! They're still going to lose 3 games before we even like on the same points as them. So that's still.
They definitely have the squad to rest players and continue winning in the Premier League.
First of all, Cooks, if you realistically tell me which games they can lose in their upcoming games, then I might be on your hype train.
Because I know they still have to play us in the league. I think they play Liverpool. I'm not too sure. I must double check, but they do have quite a tricky run in. But also, it's Man City, so I don't think they'll let the Leeds result happen again. Like I definitely don't think they'll let that happen again. But yeah, no, I think. But
listen, I'm not gonna say that the league is done and dusted because I'm an optimist and be like it's only 9 points, but the league is done and dusted.
I can't.
I'm more confident in us probably winning a Europa League than what the league is at this point in time.
I can't wait for you guys to get 4 points of Man City and then lose to Sheffield, or like someone like that.
So I was just going to say before we wrap up, I don't think we'll go into United's Europa League too much unless Keegan, unless you want to, because I think that's pretty much done and dusted for you guys.
Knowing United, we can cock it up, but we're at home, so we've got a 2-0.
4-1.
Hey,
is the aggregate 4-1?
No, isn't it 2-0?
No, it's 2. Please, rest Bruno.
Did we score? I can't even. Do you know what that game was so weird because we looked like absolute crap for most of the game, and next minute we just turned it on, and it was chaos. That game was 2-0 away from home. So yeah, we've got a 2-goal cushion, 2 away goals.
Please, we all know you guys aren't the best at home this season, so who knows?
No, that's what I say. But also, I think if we score 1 goal tonight, we'll be through. So I think that should be the goal for United tonight. Is just 1. But I'll
basically just get a.
Jade's caught my bait. He's easy.
Yeah, I'm not getting on that hype train. I'm staying far away from that. But I will train that we've got a good. If we play our cards right, we've got a good chance to win Europa. And
definitely the strongest side.
I think if we score 1 goal tonight, I think it's definite. It's done and dusted. Then we're through for us. And then what I would do is, just to try and secure second place. I think we just got to try and keep second place. I think we will keep second place though, because I think the dog fight is where you guys are.
Yeah, we're in the dog fight.
So,
but we'll make it
in the Champions League to get top 4. I don't like Liverpool being behind us. That scares me. They've pulled in a little bit closer. That's who I'm worried about. West Ham and Leicester not so much.
I was super excited for us this weekend though, beating Spurs. I thought that was a very good that just got a bit of a statement from us, especially after being screwed away from a legitimate goal and then seeding straight after that and then just pumping them. I felt like the guys, it looks like the guys are in a good state. Like Pogba's playing really well, really leading the team from the midfield. And him and Bruno seem to be doing well. Cavani getting looking good. We need this running towards the end because this little running could get you a trophy like a Europa League at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get that Premier League. I think City's done enough, but you can definitely pick up that Europa League title.
Yeah. I'm like Jay, my top 4 as well. That's my top 4 as well.
I must say, I would really enjoy either Leicester or West Ham to also be.
Listen, guys, I'm all for David for Moisey getting Manager of the Year. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
If that guy ends up in a European spot, West Ham was. That's a miracle.
No, that's a miracle. I still lean towards Pep. I do feel bad for Man City players and Pep, because like they always happen like when they win the league. It's like, well, Salah did this, so he's played the season. Like, well, like De Bruyne's like been the best. They're the trophy. Like, well, so like I still think, yeah, I'll still go towards Pep, even though Moyes' story is like that.
Moyes took West Ham, who was supposed to be relegated.
Nice.
West Ham finishes 4th or in the top.
Imagine.
Surely.
The problem is for both of us, if they finish top 4, none of us are getting Declan Rice. We can forget about that. But this is 150 million.
I don't want to pay that money for him anyway. I'll be okay with it. Like, I don't want to pay that money for him that they want for him anyway. So
they're being silly. That English premium, the English premium on players.
You know what I
100
reckon?
mil. They're really talking 100 mil for him. They can get fucked.
Over. Is it over 100 mil? We offered they wanted 80 last season for him.
Okay.
Jude Bellingham.
So I think what happens is Chelsea wins West Ham finish 4th ahead of Chelsea, and we win the Champions League and still make it into the Champions League next year.
Is that your compromise?
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's just us helping Moise out a little.
Moise deserves a little bit of good in his life.
I'll never forget 2012.
That's a great joke.
We won the Champions League and then we kicked Spurs out of the Champions League. I felt bad. I actually didn't feel bad. I was like, cheers, Zoke, sorry, my bad. Toodles. Like, imagine.
I did not feel bad.
It'll be fine. Like, we all finish with a medal. Like, you win Champions League, Moise gets a Champions League spot, and we win Europa. Everyone gets a bit of silverware. Everyone can have a smile on their face at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I just want to do that.
Let's wrap this up. Cooks, you mentioned Spurs now. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I saw this just before we went online now with a piece of a thing that happened on Twitter. Tottenham Hotspur introduced their new sponsor, Dulux Paints, this morning.
To paint over the cracks.
Yeah. Some guys, we can store those tins of paint in the trophy room for now, as you don't seem to put anything else in there. And then Dulux, the sponsor, goes and fucking tunes Spurs themselves. Look, and not once, a couple of times. Can the dog play centre back? He might do a better job.
How much are you willing to bet if that head of social media has still got a job right now, Dulux?
No, he's done.
I think someone needs to try phone Dulux UK tomorrow and see the social media manager is still there. I bet you the social media manager is an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, or I think it's some intern. I think it's some intern who's put in charge for the day. I think he's like an Arsenal fan.
That's
definitely Arsenal fan.
When you think you're tweeting off your personal account and then it ends up being a work account.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's gold, though. Yeah.
All right,
good old John Goliath, Wally. He's the one that came up with to paint over the cracks, and he's a Spurs fan himself.
Oh yeah,
I saw that. That was brilliant.
All right, gents, it's been a pleasure.
Always. See you on Monday.
Never a
We'll
chore.
be back online.
We're back to Monday.
We'll be back online. From now on, it'll be hopefully every Monday we'll manage to do a show. And thanks for tuning in, everyone, and enjoy the sport. Well, enjoy the United game tonight. And
Come on, United. Come on.
Weekend.
United and Ajax. Come on.
Have a good one, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, lads.
Bye.